All right. Hi. Welcome back. I have some good news and some bad news. The bad news is that my studio is a mess. No. The bad news is that while making this couch, I forgot to hit record on the last part of making the back and assembling it. And so that's annoying, which means I have to re-record that. So the good news, good for you, bad for me, is that we get a second angle baby. I'm out here like Martin fucking Scorsese, okay? Scorsese! And we're doing multiple takes, all right? We are doing multiple takes, all right? Right here. So I love making things many times, the same thing. That's something you should know about me. I fucking love it. So that's what we're doing today. We're remaking this. This is the second one I made because this is the first one I made, which I used white washcloth. So making a little like boucle sofa. And originally the inspiration was a chair I saw on Urban Outfitters, which in retrospect, it is a little weird for me to make like such an on-trend thing. It's not really my style, but I thought it would work for a project I'm doing, and now I've changed my mind. But I do think a lot of people really like the like white boucle furniture, so I thought I would just continue with the video anyway. So this was made with a bunch of white washcloths that I just had, but I wasn't really happy with the result because the material wasn't large enough. It's, I switched it, so this is like shop rag, which was a little bit like less fuzzy. I don't know, hopefully it looks a little more boucle. I also lowered the back of it, as you can see. I made some changes. But it's kind of made out of trash. I mean, it's made out of cardboard. I did end up buying the shop towels, and I kind of regret, I did go to Goodwill, but I didn't really see the right thing. So I do wish that that wasn't a new product, just because, you know, this could be a trash to treasure, which, I mean, it still can be, right? It can still exist in that world. I'm trying to just clean this mess up, while also being very engaging and charming. So, so maybe the third one will be like even better. That's the hope, right? So yeah, that's what we're doing today. Again, just making another one so that I can just get the final, like I was like, oh, can I just make the back? No, because it's the assembly, which means I have to make the whole thing again. So, but again, it's going to be magic. It's going to be pure magic in the editing process. All right, so I'm going to start by, because I'm kind of lazy, I'm actually going to laser cut the cardboard, but you definitely don't have to. And I think I will make because this is actually very, very easy. I think I will make the template, like a traceable template, available for download, and I will put a link. So let's do that and meet back here Sound good? What have you guys been doing? What's everyone been up to? God, I'm so tired today. This is my third cup. It's 12:30. I've had 3 cups of tea. It's just not working. All right, for this project, you're going to need to harvest some cardboard, and you're gonna need, these are shop rags, but like you could use any fabric. Like you could literally do this with any fabric. So if you want the boucle, that's what I used. You could probably find like a bathroom towel. This is about how big it is, and I found that this was big enough to like fully. For this one, I didn't do it for these two, but I think I am gonna paint the under. Maybe I won't. I don't know. It's probably not necessary, but maybe it will. I don't know. We'll see. See how fast like I want to hammer through this thing. And like a lifetime supply of glue sticks. I don't know who thinks it's acceptable to sell 10 of these glue sticks at a time. Like it took 10 to do just one of those. So who is making a craft that they're just like, I just need a little time. I just need a little squirt. Like, what crafter is that? Be better. Be better, wall art. For many reasons. All right, so first step, as always, put an iron, just really boring. And also kind of satisfying. Okay, we have a mostly wrinkle-free shop towel. Step 1, complete. I'm gonna unplug my iron so I don't burn myself. We will be doing a burn count in this video. And this little guy right here, this little son of a gun, is no friend of mine. Okay, so I cut these with my laser cutter, but it would be very, very easy to cut these on your own. I'm just going to adhere them together to create the cushion as well as the base of the chair. And I'm going to try to use like a very minimal amount of glue. And even, I feel like I could even use a different kind of glue, but hot glue dries really fast. So a lot of times that's why I use it with, especially with fabric projects. Well, it's square-ish. Okay, so the next step we are going to do is use some batting. Oh, I lied. We need batting as well. I mean, you could do it without batting. You could just double this up. Or just use other material or something. You know, don't get too caught up in the rules ever. Like, making stuff is more like, it's like free jazz, you know? It's like, you know, just be wild and loose. Like, don't get too like, oh, this is how it has to be done. There's always another way to do a thing. So I like to do it this way, to like glue it as a sheet first, versus like trying to cut it out perfectly. That's just like my thing. Also, I'm only going around the outside. Just because sometimes if you get like thick, it'll be kind of like, it'll create a bump in the cushion, which we do not want. For the second one I made, I only put upholstery on the cushion, and I do kind of think I want to be like, I think that it looks better. I don't know that that's true. This one's definitely messier. I think it was just easier. The less like cushioning you use, it kind of looks like crisper here. So, but it's just, I used a lot of different technique and stuff when I did this, and I feel like I tried a little bit harder. Whereas like I went into this being like, I'm gonna just see if I can figure it out. And I didn't even like record or anything. So yeah, I don't know. You can use your own judgment. If you want it like extra cushiony, you can put like, this has batting. Like everything has like some cushioning just to make it like floofier. And then this one has like none. So just decide what look you like better. And this is a 1/6 scale project, but you could always print out the thing at 50% and turn it into a 1/12. I felt like I could just see a lot of like doll people really liking this. So the only time I really do like 1/12, if it's 1/12 scale, it's probably going to be more like Victorian looking for my mom's dollhouse. And if it's 1/16, it's going to be like vintage 70s. So, you know, it's rare that I kind of do something modern in a smaller scale, just because I don't have, unless I was like, I had a specific project for it. All right, so just gluing. What? That was like one glue stick probably. This is like glue stick number 2. We're gonna do a count. Same thing, I'm just gonna kind of go around the edge. Ow. Burn. I feel like, okay, I think I did the top and then I wrapped the edge. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna cut the edge off around this just because. So you want there to be just like a little, like even if it's just like goes like 1/8 down, you want it so that when we cover it, you know, you don't want there to be a line. Oh yeah, I said I might paint this. I guess I'm not. That might not be a bad idea if you have like a quite woven material though, and you can kind of see through it. And since this is like corrugated and some of the glue is kind of falling down into the corrugation, I am being extra juicy with it. there's probably like, here we go. The other day when I did this, I put the batting down and then my cat was like, oh, that's a bed for me. Here you go. Do you want that? But you have to lay down because I'm trying to film right now. Okay, so yeah, just kind of go onto the edge like that. And then I'm going to do like front, back, and then side to side. And you want to be pretty, like dry enough that if you tug on it just a little bit, you create a little tension. Making sure my mic's on. It doesn't pull away from it. There's probably a glove or something that you can wear to not burn the shit out of yourself when you use the glue gun. But I don't have that. And even if I did, it would probably be like glungly. And I'm just kind of, so what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of like, here's the problem. Like the batting has kind of adhered and covered up the glue. You're using up all my glue. See? Already out of a second stick. If you're not burning yourself, you're probably not doing it right. But yeah, you can see like the weaving, the wove. Like when you pull on this, they're very low quality. I don't buy luxury shop towels. So it does kind of pull apart. So you can just see that it's slightly dark underneath. You can't really tell that it's cardboard or that it's brown. But if you paint it under that, then, but actually it's going to be covered again too. So it's really not that big of a deal. And then I'm just going to do the same thing on the sides. 3. It's number 3. Oof. Playing with fire right now, you guys. So that's okay. That's pretty decent. It could be tighter, but whatever. We're going to keep moving on. I will not be doing this a 4th time. I recommend like saving scraps because you can use them to like fill a pillow, or you could use this to make tiny hand towels, or I don't know, just don't throw away your trash. It's so good, so useful. All right, so if we do it really well, we'll have a smooth corner. If we do it a little bit crappy, we'll have kind of like a little pinch in the corner, but I don't think you're gonna be able to see that anyway. So the way I'm gonna measure this is I'm just gonna go like this and go boop, boop. So that's not gonna be long enough. So we're gonna have to use another towel, but we can probably use that for something else. I'm gonna cut the edge off this again. So, I mean, in a perfect world, that's going to be a nice straight cut. In this world, it's not, though. I have like a little pizza cutter. That would be a good thing to get a nice straight edge, but... Okay, so again, I'm going to go boop, boop, boop. It's still not going to completely fit. That's right. There is going to be a little, like, maybe 2-inch piece on the back. I forgot about that, but you're not going to be able to see it. So, I'm going to leave maybe 1/4 of an inch in. Like, go to, like, about 1/4 of an inch. And then just go like this and mark it very lightly. And then same thing, just go the whole length. The ends off. If anyone has an idea for what to do with these little ends, leave it in the comments. Because you know I hate throwing trash away. Perfectly good trash. Is everyone hydrating their tissues and staying juicy right now? Let's all collectively take a little hydration break. This hydration break was brought to you by Stanley. Okay. Just kidding. I feel like Stanley probably sponsors like trad wives. But if they wanted to, I will take their money. Okay, so yeah, we kind of did end up, it's weird, because like that's a bigger space than on the other one. And I'm like, how? Did I do that one diagonally? Like, how did we do that? Doesn't matter. So I'm going to try to just make this centered. And it's pretty good. It's pretty centered. I'm just going to go along this front edge about where I want it to be placed. Try to have it kind of straight looking. It's not a science, you know. It's just like, make it kind of look good. You've seen a couch cushion before, you know. You know what a couch cushion looks like, you big silly. So it'll look something like that. And I'll just go around the rest of it. Burn. All right, so remember all that scrap I told you not to throw away? I'm just putting it to use right now. So I'm gonna try to like just cut a sort of straight looking edge. I remember when I was young, when I first learned what straight edge was, I was like 17 and I moved from Maine to Virginia I had never heard of straight edge, and someone was like, yeah, this person, they're straight edge. And I was like, what? And they were like, they don't drink and do drugs. And I was like, why? That seemed insane to me. Like, what? Why would you? Why? Like, why wouldn't you drink and do drugs? Okay, so now I'm just gonna kind of try to, and look, it kind of just, because it's furry, it kind of hides itself. That was a burn. Burn count. What's the burn count up to? All right, and then I'm gonna cut it about and even if, see, like that's like, there's a little gap there, you can, because it's cloth, you can kind of pull it a little bit. I'm gonna put a little bit on the edge right there. Kind of pull it. And it's gonna be covered by the back, just the back of it. So we're not gonna see this. That was almost a burn. It wasn't quite a burn. All right, now I'm just gonna fold this edge down. What's that, number 4? Another glue stick. To do these corners, I'm just going to cut some material out because you're not going to be able to tell. So, like I'm just going to cut kind of a triangle. Because I'm not selling this, so it doesn't really matter what the underneath looks like if it's ugly. So you can see, I just kind of made a, there's probably a name, like if it was a joint, like a 45-degree angle. I'm sure there's a name for it, but I don't know it. Hello everyone, it is Allison, and I am coming to you from the future. Alright, so the second half of this video is basically all voiceover because this is actually the first clips that I recorded. If you remember at the beginning of the video, I had to do a lot of re-recording. One little note that I have about this part, this is me adding the upholstery to the base of it, and I really should have added more material because you can see like it's pretty skimpy. I mean, you don't want a ton because my thinking was like, oh, I don't want to have too much because then it will be uneven or something, but this was too little. And if you think this side doesn't have much on it, then just wait till I get to the other side, because there's nothing to hold on to on that side. Basically with upholstery, I'm just kind of always just hot glue and do a little bit, and hot glue and trim a little bit. I wish I had like a more I could tell y'all some very specific way, but I just, even with building too, it's like constant adjustments on each project, there's always going to be little intricacies and little adjustments you need to make. Okay, this is making the back of the sofa, and you can see here that I'm bending in the corrugations, and so it's really important that the corrugations go parallel to the length of the back, because if they're the other way, then you can't bend them in the correct way. So I wanted to make this a double wide, big fat daddy girl. So I cut 2 pieces, and you can make this girl as thick as you want. The outer piece, each outer piece though, has to be a little bit bigger, and so I'm going to show you how to do that without any real hard math. So find the middle of each of the back pieces. So this is number 2 here, if that's not clear. Sorry if you hear me drinking. And then I thought it would be best to not use much glue. So you can see I'm just lining up those 2 central pieces. So I thought if it had too much glue that might keep it from being its most flexible self. Make sure you have, you're practicing good hygiene here. Good cleanup hygiene where you're removing all your extra glue globs. So you can see here, see how there's overage. You want that because it needs to be just very, very slightly. It might be burn. I fuck hot glue. I love hot glue, especially for doing upholstery, but it's the most dangerous tool in my workshop, and I own a table saw. So then you just want to cut off the excess of that outer piece. I hope that makes sense. So there's the base all glued together, and it looks really cute. It looks really profeshy. And here I'm just kind of like holding it in place and making sure that I just like how it all lines up and everything. And this is my shop towel, and I'm just having a fuss. And I mentioned this earlier, but I really, especially, just in general, unless you're using a really thick fabric, you don't want it to be to show the bumps of the glue through the fabric. So I try to do it just on the outer edges. And then this is me trimming the bottom piece off. And you want to plan for where your seams are going to land, right? You want your seams, you want this whole piece to wrap so that the seams are only on the bottom. And that was very smart of me to use tweezers because I burned myself about 72 times making this video. And then, it's just kind of like a gentle tug. You just want a nice little amount of tautness, and then you can kind of continue, because as it's cooling and drying, you can still give it a little teeny, so that you can just get it really snug, and then it will be smooth, and then same thing on the ends. You just want to glue the ends down. Don't burn yourself. I got an itch on my chin, so I'll go ahead and do that. It's 45 degrees here in Maine today. It's a freaking heat wave. And then, clean up all your seams. Have good craftsmanship. That's really important. It doesn't matter. It's important to me. I like conquering the beast of trash, but also don't beat yourself up over it. Nuance comes kind of with time and practice, and I see people make really messy, folksy work all the time, and honestly, when it's all put in together, when it's all in its little room box or whatever, you can't see the mistakes. Definitely, especially in a photograph or a video or whatever. So
don't know. I guess I'm just trying to encourage you to be nice to yourself. Again, I'm the punk rock Mr. Rogers of miniatures. So can you see what I'm doing here? I'm taking an extra piece of fabric. I trimmed off all the excess around the outer edges of the backing, and now I'm doing that end cap. And because this fabric, it has a texture, it's actually, I could never get away with doing this technique if it was just like a cotton. But because of the texture, it really kind of hides the seams, the ugliness of the seams. And I think I did all of this twice because the fabric was quite see-through. Like I had talked about painting the cardboard, and I probably should have because you could see some brown through it. Also, I just wanted it to look a little more comfortable, you know, like have some padding. But when I used batting, it almost looked out of scale with its like, you know, coziness. It's plushityness. And this is just the same, the exact same process again at 1,000 times speed. And yeah, I thought that made it look a little bit like tidier, you know. Sip, having another sip here. I'll be glad when this video is over. I've had a lot of trouble focusing lately. Like, you know, it's bad when I'm like, I'm gonna restock my Etsy shop because I'm trying to procrastinate from editing videos. A part of it is that my big computer it smashed today again, and I'm editing on like a very small screen, so it's less pleasant. All right, so now I took a liberal amount of hot glue, and I'm just attaching the back to the seat, and then I'm using these are, oh God, my brain is not working, I'm so tired. Clamps. These are like quick clamps, which are my favorite, but they're also a little bit expensive. So if you don't have these, you could just you could just hold it, or you could try to like put some books on it or something. I wanted to use these because I thought it would help just force the bend into that cardboard. Like my concern was that if I didn't kind of keep it in those clamps for, 24 hours or something, that eventually the sides would pop off. So far they haven't, so I guess I did a pretty good job. But don't go out and buy a tool if you can't afford it or you don't need it. There's always other ways to do things. You could probably tie it with a rope or something. And then I decided that this sofa, look, I just burnt myself again. Poor Alison. One time I got like a 2nd-degree burn off a fucking hot glue gun. It somehow it had the trigger was pushed down. There's a huge glob of it, and I stuck my wrist in it. Anyway, I was feeling like the back of it was a little bit naked, so I wanted to make a back cushion. Look, I keep touching my hand because I'm like, ow, it really hurts. I don't think it actually blistered, but it was shiny. I definitely lost a few layers of skin. So I just made this the exact same way we made the first cushion, where I put 2, look, this is the one where I'm just being so trepidatious. I'm like, I have trauma. I have a hot glue trauma. Don't worry, it's gone now. And I'm just as stupid as ever, as careless as ever with the glue gun. So, yeah, so I just wanted to make a little cushion here, and I did some, what's that called? Where you put little bippity bops in it? I don't know. I'm really tired. Here's the thing you warm climate people don't understand. When you go outside and it is cold and you come back in and you get warm, it is exhausting. and your brain stops working. So yeah, I just folded this over. Like, it's really, really not look, I'm like, yeah, I will be using tweezers now. I have complex PTSD from a glue gun. Luckily, humans are resilient and we can all change our neural pathways and heal our trauma, but that's for another video. Yep, same, just doing this little bit, folding it, you know, just try to make it tidy if that's what you want, or be a big chaotic mess, you know, like whatever, do what feels good for you, you know. I'm not, everyone's, oh look, I just burned myself again. Everyone out on the internet is just telling you what you should be doing. Have you noticed that? Like, politically, or, you know, it's just a lot. Like, I'm not here to do that. I'm here to tell you to do what you want and to trust yourself. You know, you don't need to be told what to do. Now, this looks good on its own. Like, you don't need to do this next part if you don't want to, but I'm going to show you how. So I started by finding the middle on the short side of it and drawing a little line, because that's where I wanted my little darts to go. Dart is not the right word. I cannot think of what this is called. You can also do this with seed beads. I just did one recently where I used seed beads and it looks pretty good. I don't think, it's not the most perfect. I'm still working to find it. And then I think okay, so I found the middle point, the horizontal middle point, and then oh God, and then I found the middle point of each of those two sections, if that makes sense. So it's the middle point of the entire thing and then the middle point of each section. That is how I did that. And hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, you can leave me a comment and maybe I could do like a short or something where I try to do a better job explaining myself. So because this is cardboard and it barely has any glue on it, I can just shove the needle right through. And like, see how I'm like placing it face up, but then I'm just moving the needle over like, I don't know, a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch or something, so that when it goes through the other side, it's basically in the correct place. And then I just do this like 800 times till it gets a nice little, like, oh God. You know I'm going to think of the name for it as soon as, I know you're screaming at me right now. You're screaming the name at me at your computer screen or your iPad screen or probably your phone. Are many people watching YouTube on their phones? Yeah, so I just did this a bunch of times, probably more times than I needed to, but you know, I'm a thorough girl. I'm a real thorough girl. And then, yeah, I just taped it off, but then I don't remember if the next two, I was like, why don't I just use my hot glue? Or maybe that was something I did recently. I made a different chair recently. Yeah, I taped all these ones off, but you could also just like put a dab of hot glue on there. So yeah, I just did the same thing a bunch of times. And it's not hard, you know. And I think it does make it look like fancier. Makes it look more expensive. Yeah. And I didn't glue the back end, but I think I should, because you can see from the top there's a little gap, and it will fall over too. Yeah, so thank you so much. Time for the reveal.
Hello, welcome back. What did you think? Did you love it? How dare you? Will you try it yourself? I feel like this was a pretty easy project. You could always glue, you could always glue this one. If it's being a real silly head. Yeah, there's not much to say. Really fun, really easy. I have a ton of stuff recorded that I need to edit, so stay tuned for that. Hit the little bell so that you never, ever miss a single video of mine. And yeah, we'll make more. If you make stuff that you see in this video, please tag me. I'm on all of the social medias. Like it's annoying how many social medias I'm on. So, but I wanna see what you make, and I wanna see like what different choices you make and stuff too. That would be really fun for me. So, yeah, cool. Well, I will see you guys really soon, hopefully. Okay, let's be best friends, and goodbye.